Good evening. This is Hash News, day 2 of our special coverage of the coronavirus outbreak. I'm your top and/or bottom reporter, Chevy Chaser. Coronavirus. It's everywhere. It's in the sky. It's in the air. It's on the ground. Everywhere. It's even on that delivery boy who delivered your panini today. You know the one I'm talking about. The one who kind of gave you the eye, like maybe he wanted to come in and give you a little more special service. The one you slammed the door on without tipping because, you know, you're kind of just a cheap son of a bitch who's a real wart on society. Of course, if it's on the delivery boy, that probably means it's also on the panini. And if it's on the panini, it's probably in you right now. That's right, the coronavirus is inside of you, which means it's also outside of you, all over you. I'm talking about every piece of your skin now covered in coronavirus. Think about it. Think about it hard. You thinking about it? Hold on. That's right. Hygiene's important right now. You need to start bathing. I'm talking about really bathing. I'm talking about scrubbing nooks. I'm talking about scrubbing crannies. I'm talking about getting deep into all those nooks and crannies you never get to because when you were a kid, your mom told you they were no-no spots. That's right, the kind of no-no spots where if you continue to touch them as insistently as you do, the devil is going to come and rape your father. Now I know what you're saying. I don't want the devil to rape my father. I love my father. Well, don't worry, because I'm willing to come to your house and clean all those nooks and crannies for you. That's right, I'm an expert cleaner of deep, dirty nooks and crannies. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, you're going to be in the shower with me scrubbing away at my hot bod. Aren't we just going to get the coronavirus back and forth? No, because I'm going to be wearing a plastic bag on my head the entire time. You know, for safety. Anyways, I digress. In hashing news today, the Portland hash community is waiting with bated breath as the Portland humping hash runs their first run since every other hash except for one declared a hiatus. This is an interesting turn of events given that San Diego celebrity Gracias recently announced that he would not be traveling to Portland as planned because it would be irresponsible given the current coronavirus epidemic. This marks the first time in history that Gracias is somehow more responsible than the entirety of the Portland humping hash. In other hashing news, the Stumptown announced that they will continue charging people $10 if they RSVP'd for any of the hashes now on hiatus. When asked about this policy, they simply said, it's in the book, we have a book, it's full of our bylaws, it's in a book. You know, we wrote it down in this book. It's bylaws. We can't break them, that's how this works. Go fuck yourself, you fucking wanker. No other comments were available. In more local news, the Oregon Lotto recently announced that all video poker machines will be shut off during the entirety of the crisis, marking yet another time that the state of Oregon does something completely useless given the fact that all the bars are already closed, so nobody can really play fucking video poker anyways. That being said, it does raise the question of what's going to happen to all the gambling addicts who have been busily spending their social security checks on video poker machines every day. Well, there are many ways you can gamble around the house where you don't have to actually go in and get infected. There are many different things you can do. For instance, you can take a screwdriver and jam it into different sockets to see what happens. Or you could go, I don't know, kick random dogs around the neighborhood until one bites you. Or you could just play Russian roulette with a gun. Really, there's so many things you can do at home to gamble, so no worries on that end. In political news today, aging fossil and presidential candidate Bernie Sanders announced that despite the fact that in every state he keeps getting spanked worse than a 1950s housewife who bought the wrong kind of coffee, he will not drop out of the race. When questioned about this decision, he stated that he figures that with the coronavirus, a large part of Joe Biden's support is likely to die in the next couple months, which should help elevate his campaign. He is also hopeful that Joe Biden himself might die before Bernie does. That's right, Bernie also talks about himself in the third person. Fun fact, probably didn't know that. Anyways, moving on. In international news today, Pornhub announced that they are going to make their premium version free for anybody in Italy to help convince those horny Italians that it's time to stay home longer. When hearing about the news, local wanking expert Goodwill Cunting said, "Shit, I better buy myself a flight to Milan, post haste." No news has been heard whether or not he is able to buy a ticket. In final news, a bit of good news for once. When it was announced that U.S. scientists have purposefully given somebody some coronavirus in an attempt to create a vaccine. Whether or not this vaccine will work it still has to be seen, but it has been rumored that the only way it can be applied is through a large suppository straight up the pee hole. Perhaps it's better just to get coronavirus now. Well, I think that's about all the news. I am legally obligated to say that despite rumors being spread on the internet, mostly by me, having butt sex is not a cure for the coronavirus. Stay safe and have a good night.